Archery had its debut at the 1900 Summer Olympics and has been contested in 16 Olympiads. 84 nations have competed in the Olympic archery events, with France appearing the most often at 31 times. The most noticeable trend has been the excellence of South Korean archers, who have won 23 out of 34 gold medals in events since 1984. It is governed by the World Archery Federation. Recurve archery is the only discipline of archery featured at the Olympic Games. Archery is also an event at the Summer Paralympics. History. The Second Olympic Games, Paris 1900, saw the first appearance of archery. 7 disciplines in varying distances were contested. The next Olympics, St. Louis 1904, featured 5 archery events, but no athletes from outside the United States competed. At the 1908 Summer Olympics, 3 archery events were held. Archery was not featured at the 1912 Summer Olympics but reappeared in the 1920 Summer Olympics. Between 1920 and 1972, archery was not contested at the Olympic Games. The archery competition featured at the 1972 Summer Olympics in Munich consisted of a double FITA round competition with 2 events, men's individual and women's individual. This form of archery competition was held until the 1988 Summer Olympics, when team competition was added and the grand FITA round format was used. Starting at the 1992 Summer Olympics, the Olympic round with head-to-head matches was adopted and has been used ever since. In 1984 at Los Angeles, Nirali Fair Hall of New Zealand was the first paraplegic competitor in the Olympic Games. Medal tables. 1972 marked the beginning of the modern archery competition at the Olympic Games. The events began to use standardized forms and many nations competed. All years. This table includes archery competitions in 1900, 1904, 1908, and 1920 in addition to the ones from 1972 on, which are shown above. These 4 years preceded the modern, standardized archery competition under the rules of the World Archery Federation and were contested by 3 nations at most. In 1 year, only the United States competed. Other nations that competed during that period were France, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Great Britain. Qualification spots in archery are allotted to national Olympic committees rather than to individual athletes. The minimum age for an Olympic archer is 16. There are 2 ways an NOC may earn qualification spots: by team or by individual. For each gender, an NOC that earns a team qualification spot may send 3 archers to compete in the team event. Each archer also competes in the individual competition. NOCs that earn individual qualification spots are limited to a single entry in the individual event. For each gender, there are 12 team qualification spots. The host nation, the top 8 teams at the World Archery Championships, and the top 3 teams at the final World Team Qualification Tournament. In addition to the 36 entries awarded through team qualification, an additional 28 individual qualification spots are available for each gender, bringing the total number of competitors in each individual event to 64. Of these 28 spots, between 5 and 8 are awarded at the World Archery Championships, because this event takes place before the final World Team Qualification Tournament. Individual spots earned by nations that later qualify team are released. Additional spots are awarded through continental qualifying tournaments. At least 3 spots are awarded in a final World Individual Qualification Tournament, with more available if spots were released by nations qualifying teams. Finally, 3 places for each gender are reserved for tripartite commission invitations. Africa received 3 qualification spots in the continental tournaments, leaving Oceania as the only continent to receive 2 spots rather than 3. For 2012, the qualification rules were adjusted slightly. The host nation continued to receive 3 spots, as did the top 8 teams at the World Championship. However, only 8 further individuals qualified through the individual placement at the World Championship. The continental tournaments received unbalanced allocations, with Africa and Oceania receiving only 2 qualification spots to the other continents' 3. The Tripartite Commission retained its 3 selections. The remaining 13 spots were decided by final qualification tournaments. 3 additional team spots were allocated through the final qualification team event, and the last 4 spots through the final qualification individual tournament. If any of the NOCs qualifying through final qualification had already earned an individual spot, 1 more spot is added to the individual final qualification quota. Competition. Modern Olympic archery consists of 4 medal events: men's individual, women's individual, men's team, and women's team. In all 4 events, the distance from the archer to the target is 70 meters. Individual. In the individual competitions, 64 archers compete. The competition begins with the ranking round. Each archer shoots 72 arrows. They are then ranked by score to determine the seeding for the single elimination bracket. After this, final rankings for each archer are determined by the archer's score in the round in which the archer was defeated, with the archers defeated in the first round being ranked 33rd through 64th. The first elimination round pits the first-ranked archer against the 64th, the second against the 63rd, and so on. In this match, as well as the second and third, the archers shoot simultaneously 18 arrows in ends of 3 arrows. The archer with the higher score after 18 arrows moves on to the next round, while the loser is eliminated. After 3 such rounds, there are 8 archers remaining. The remaining 3 rounds are referred to as the finals rounds. They consist of each archer shooting 12 arrows, again in ends of 3 arrows. The 2 archers in the match alternate by arrow instead of shooting their arrows simultaneously as in the first 3 rounds. The losers of the quarterfinals are eliminated, while the losers of the semi-finals play each other to determine the bronze medal and 4th place. The 2 archers who are undefeated through the semi-finals face each other in the gold medal match, in which the winner takes the gold medal while the loser receives the silver medal. 2008 changes. All matches in 2008 were in the previous finals round format, using 12-arrow matches. Archers alternated shooting by arrow. 2012 changes. The individual match system was completely overhauled for the 2012 Olympics, though the single elimination with bronze medal match format was retained. The matches now consisted of sets. Each set comprised both archers shooting 3 arrows. The archer with the best score in the set received 2 points. If the set was drawn, each archer received 1 point. The match would continue until one archer reached 6 points. If the match was tied after 5 sets, a single arrow shoot-off was held with the closest arrow to center winning. The team event uses the results of the same ranking round as the individual competition to determine seeding for the teams. The team's 3 individual archers' scores are summed to get a team ranking round score. The competition thereafter is a single elimination bracket, with the top 4 teams receiving a bye into the quarterfinals. The semi-final losers face each other in the bronze medal match. In a team match, each archer shoots 8 arrows, with the best overall team score winning the match. The set format from the individual competition is not used. Events. Early games. Early Olympic archery competitions had events that were unique for each of the games. Modern games. Participating nations. The following nations have taken part in the archery competition. Records.